Welcome to Talk English.
We're glad you're here.
Let's begin our story.
Ready to improve your English?
Jack, I need to tell you something that happened to a friend of mine, something that still makes me feel emotional when I think about it.
What happened?
His name is Carlos. He is from Brazil. He had worked so hard to learn English. 2 years of classes, hours of practice every single day. He felt ready. And then one day, in a room full of colleagues, they laughed at him because of his English.
Oh, no.
And Carlos told me later that moment almost made him give up English forever.
I think everyone watching right now has felt some version of that fear. The fear that people will laugh, that your English is not good enough, that you will embarrass yourself.
Today, we are telling Carlos's full story because what happened after that moment, that is where the real lesson lives. I'm Emily. Welcome to English Talk.
And I'm Jack. And today, Carlos's story might be the most important thing you watch this week. Stay with us.
So, Carlos is 29 years old. He works as a software engineer. 3 years ago, his company offered him something extraordinary, a transfer to their London office. 6 months, full salary, amazing opportunity.
That sounds like a dream.
It was a dream. Carlos accepted immediately. He had been learning English for 2 years already. He could read well, he could write emails, he understood most things when people spoke slowly. He felt confident.
But confident in his room alone is different from confident in a real office with real people.
Very different. Carlos arrived in London on a Monday. Tuesday, first day at the new office. He was nervous but excited. His new manager, a woman named Rachel, was warm and welcoming. The team seemed friendly. Everything felt okay.
And then what happened?
Thursday, day 3. Rachel called a team meeting. 8 people around a table. Carlos was asked to give a short update on the project he was joining. 5 minutes. Just introduce himself and explain his background. Simple.
5 minutes. 8 people. In English.
Carlos stood up, he took a breath, and he began. Hello, everyone. I am Carlos. I am come from Brazil. I am working here for 6 months. I have much experience in software. I am very like this project. I think we will do good work together. Thank you for to have me. The room was quiet for 1 second, and then 2 colleagues at the end of the table, they exchanged a look, and they smiled, and one of them laughed, just a small laugh, but Carlos heard it.
Oh, Carlos.
He sat down. His face was hot. His hands were shaking slightly. Rachel quickly moved the meeting forward, but Carlos, for the rest of that day, could not concentrate on anything. He went home that evening and called his mother in Brazil, and he said, "Mai, I think I made a terrible mistake coming here."
That phone call. I can feel it completely.
We all can, because that feeling, that humiliation, that is the moment that stops so many people from ever speaking English again. They decide it is safer to be silent, it is safer to say nothing, than to be laughed at again.
But Carlos did not give up.
Carlos did not give up, and that is where today's lesson truly begins. Let's look at what Carlos said and understand exactly what happened, because every mistake Carlos made, it is a mistake that millions of English learners make every single day. There is nothing shameful about it. There is only something to learn.
Carlos said, I am come from Brazil.
The natural version is, I come from Brazil, or I'm from Brazil. We never say, I am come. Come here does not need am. Simply, I come from Brazil. Or even more naturally, I'm originally from Brazil.
I'm originally from Brazil. That sounds so natural and confident. Originally tells people you are now somewhere else, which adds context without extra explanation.
Carlos said, I have much experience.
The natural version is I have a lot of experience. In English, much is used in questions and negative sentences. Do you have much experience? I don't have much experience. But in a positive statement, always a lot of. I have a lot of experience in software. Simple rule. Positive sentence, a lot of.
Carlos said, I am very like this project.
Oh, this one. Very like. What should it be?
I really like this project. Or even stronger, I am genuinely excited about this project. Very like sounds like a direct translation from another language. In English, we use really or genuinely before a verb, not very.
I am genuinely excited about this project. That sounds so professional and sincere.
And finally, Carlos said, thank you for to have me.
The natural version,
Thank you so much for having me. Or, thank you for this opportunity. We never say for to have, always for having, the gerund form.
thank you so much for having me. 4 words changed, but the difference is enormous.
So let's hear what Carlos should have said, the natural version, from beginning to end.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Carlos, and I'm originally from Brazil. I'm really excited to be joining the team for the next 6 months. I have a lot of experience in software development, and I am genuinely excited about this project. I think we are going to do great work together. Thank you so much for having me.
Same information, same Carlos, completely different impression.
And nobody laughs.
Nobody laughs.
Say the natural version out loud. Good morning. I'm your name, and I'm originally from your country. I have a lot of experience in your field, and I am genuinely excited about this opportunity. Thank you so much for having me.
The next morning, Friday, Carlos almost called Rachel to say he was sick. He did not want to go back into that office. He did not want to see those 2 colleagues again.
I understand that feeling completely. When something embarrassing happens, the last thing you want to do is face the same people again.
But Carlos went. He got dressed, he took the underground, he walked into the office. And something unexpected happened.
What happened?
Sarah, a colleague who sat near him, came to his desk in the morning. She brought 2 coffees. She put one in front of Carlos, and she said, Hey, Carlos, how are you doing? I just wanted to say, your presentation yesterday was brave. Speaking in a second language in front of a whole room, that takes real courage.
Oh,
Carlos looked at her and said, Thank you. I made many mistakes. We all make mistakes. Your English is way better than my Portuguese, which is 0. And Carlos laughed for the first time since Thursday. A real laugh.
Sarah. What a wonderful person.
And this is something important. Not everyone in the room laughed at Carlos. 2 did. 6 did not. But fear has a way of making us only see the 2 who laughed and completely miss the 6 who were rooting for us.
That is so true and so important to remember.
Always remember the Sarahs in the room. They're always there. You just have to look for them. That same Friday afternoon, Carlos did something that changed everything. He knocked on Rachel's office door. She looked up and said, Carlos, come in. What can I do for you? And Carlos said, Rachel, I want to be honest with you. My English, I know it is not perfect. Yesterday in the meeting, I think I made some mistakes. I am working hard to improve. But I wanted to ask, is there anything specific I should focus on for the next meeting?
Oh, he asked for feedback. That is so brave.
And Rachel looked at him genuinely impressed and said, Carlos, the fact that you are here asking this question tells me everything I need to know about your character. Your English is absolutely fine for the work we do. But if you want one tip, try to slow down when you speak. You have great ideas. Give them space to land.
Give them space to land. What a beautiful way to say it.
Slow down, space to land. And let's look at what Carlos said to Rachel, because it was nearly perfect English. But with 2 small upgrades, it becomes completely natural.
Carlos said, "My English, I know it is not perfect." The more natural version,
I want to be upfront with you. My English is still a work in progress. Still a work in progress, this phrase means you are improving. It is not finished yet, but you are committed to it. Much more natural and positive than not perfect.
still a work in progress. Not perfect, not bad, still a work in progress. That phrase has dignity in it.
It does. And I wanted to ask, is there anything specific I should focus on? This is already very natural. Well done, Carlos. The only upgrade, add going forward at the end. Is there anything specific I should focus on going forward? Going forward means from now into the future, professional and natural.
Say Carlos's upgraded version. I want to be upfront with you. My English is still a work in progress. Is there anything specific I should focus on going forward?
6 weeks passed. Carlos did 3 things every single day. He listened to English podcasts during his commute. He wrote down 3 new natural phrases each day. And before every meeting, he practiced his opening sentence out loud. Just the first sentence. Because he learned, if the first sentence comes out naturally, the rest follows more easily.
That is such a smart technique. Just practice the first sentence, because the beginning is always the hardest part.
Always the hardest. 6 weeks later, there was another team meeting. Same room, same 8 people. Carlos was asked to present again. This time, a full 15-minute presentation on his project progress.
Same room, same people.
Same room, same people. Carlos stood up, he took one breath, and he said, "Good morning, everyone. Over the last 6 weeks, I have had the privilege of working with this incredible team. Today, I want to share what we have achieved together and where I believe we can go next. I am really proud of the progress we have made and genuinely excited about what is coming."
That is beautiful.
The room was quiet, but this time, a different kind of quiet. The kind that means people are listening, really listening. When Carlos finished, Rachel said, "Excellent work, Carlos. Really well presented." And Sarah, from across the table, gave him a quiet thumbs up.
And the 2 people who laughed 6 weeks before?
One of them came to Carlos after the meeting and said, "Great presentation, mate. Really clear and well-structured."
Mate.
Mate, the most British word of all. Carlos had become, in 6 weeks, not just someone who spoke English, but someone people wanted to listen to.
Emily, what was the real lesson from Carlos's story? Not the phrases, the deeper lesson.
3 things. First, one bad moment does not define your English. Carlos had one difficult Thursday, but he had 6 beautiful weeks after it. If he had stopped on Thursday, we would never know what was possible on the other side of that moment.
One bad moment is not the whole story.
Never. Second, asking for help is not weakness. Carlos walking into Rachel's office and saying, "I want to be up front," that took more courage than the original presentation, and it changed everything.
The bravest English moment was not the presentation, it was the conversation after.
Always. And third, the people who laugh are almost never the majority. 2 out of 8 laughed. 6 were silent. 1 brought coffee. 1 gave a thumbs up. 1 said mate. The world is full of Sarahs. You just have to keep going long enough to meet them.
Keep going long enough to meet the Sarahs.
That is the whole lesson. Let's go through every natural phrase Carlos learned. Say each one out loud with Jack.
Introducing yourself? Good morning. I'm... name, and I'm originally from country. Talking about experience, I have a lot of experience in your field. Showing enthusiasm, I am genuinely excited about this project. Thanking people, thank you so much for having me. Being honest about English, my English is still a work in progress. Asking for feedback, is there anything specific I should focus on going forward? Slowing down and being clear? Over the last 6 weeks, I have had the privilege of working with this incredible team.
7 phrases, 1 complete transformation. From the Thursday that almost broke Carlos to the presentation that made his manager proud. Before we finish, I want to say something directly to every single person watching.
Please.
If you have ever been laughed at for your English, I want you to hear this clearly. That laugh said nothing about your intelligence, nothing about your worth, nothing about your future. It said everything about the person who laughed.
Language is not intelligence. Language is a skill, and every skill takes time. Every skill has an embarrassing Thursday. The question is, do you come back on Friday?
Carlos came back on Friday, and 6 weeks later, he was the one people wanted to listen to.
Come back on Friday.
Always come back on Friday.
Your challenge for today, and this one matters.
In the comments, I want you to write 1 sentence, just one, your own introduction in English, using Carlos's style. Start with, good morning, I'm, your name, and I'm originally from your country.
That is it. 1 sentence, your name, your country, in the comments, right now. Because every time you write English, you are practicing. Every time you practice, you're getting closer to your own 6-week transformation.
We read every single comment. We will see yours, and we will give a thumbs up to every person who is brave enough to write their introduction today.
Because writing it here with us, that is your Friday. That is you coming back.
If Carlos's story helped you today, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps more people around the world find English Talk and maybe find their own Friday.
And if you are not part of our English Talk family yet, subscribe right now. Hit that bell icon. New, real English stories every week made for your real life, made for you.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for staying until the end. And thank you for coming back every single time.
Take care, and remember,
1 bad Thursday
does not cancel
what is possible
on Friday. English Talk is your place to grow.
See you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you for joining us.
We hope you learned something new.
Subscribe for more lessons. Goodbye.